Welcome into OutKick the Show. I am your fearless leader, Clay Travis. I hope all of you are having fantastic Tuesdays, wherever you may be across this great country or this great land. I had to pause there for a minute, remember what day it was. We are now going live at 4 Eastern, 3 Central, 2 Mountain, 1 Pacific. Bump back about a half hour because on Monday, the OutKick 360 will begin. New 4-hour live show. You'll be able to stream directly over the top via podcast. Chad Withrow, Jonathan Hutton, Paul Kaharski, they're going to do an incredible job for us. And that show is going to start on Monday, and it will be running from 12 to 4 Eastern, from 11 to 3 Central, 10 to 2 Mountain, and 9 to 1 Pacific. Regardless of what time zone you're in, you'll be able to watch that 4 hours live every day as a part of our new planned 13-hour OutKick over the top network. And then it'll start, by the way, with my show from 6 to 9 a.m. Eastern. And then we will go from their show ending at 4 Eastern to this. And then, by the way, I'll be on television at 5 Eastern. Your boy here, pretty busy schedule, all right? But their show is starting on Monday. On Friday of next week, that's March the 19th, we are going to have a VIP event in downtown Nashville for the start of the NCAA tournament. The NCAA tournament this year starting on a Friday as opposed to usually starting with all the games on a Thursday. We're going to do a live show. You'll be able to come hang out with us. You need to be a VIP to do so because we have a limited capacity. Hundreds of you are allowed to be there, but it's not full go yet in downtown Nashville. You can sign up if you haven't already on our message board. Go get the details there, the VIP message board. But the VIP event you can sign up for right now by going to outkick.com/VIP. It's easy to do. Outkick.com/VIP. And if you use the code VIP event, easy to remember, you get 20% off your OutKick VIP subscription. You can join the thousands and thousands of OutKick VIPs and the hundreds of OutKick VIPs that will be at this live event on next Friday. All right, we have a lot to dive into. Dak Prescott has signed the second largest contract in the history of the quarterback position in all of football. $160 million guaranteed. Let me give you some of the big details here. Dak Prescott will make $66 million to sign, $75 million in year one, the most in NFL history. The deal can be worth up to $164 million. No trade clause, no tag provision for the franchise tag. Guarantee is $126 million. First 3 years, average $42 million per year. Congrats to Dak Prescott, who made only just over $2 million in his first 4 years in the NFL after being a fourth-round draft pick. And he now is set to be the second highest paid quarterback of all time in the history of the game of football. Patrick Mahomes, by the way, the highest paid at $45 million per year. Dak Prescott, $40 million average. Deshaun Watson, $39 million. Russell Wilson, $35 million. Call your agent, Aaron Rodgers, $33.5 million. Jared Goff also making $33.5 million. Kirk Cousins, $33 million. Carson Wentz, $32 million. Matt Ryan, $30 million. Ryan Tannehill, $29.5 million. You might be noticing there something kind of significant, I think. Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, the 4 highest paid quarterbacks in the history of the NFL are all black. And so the NFL comes in for a massive amount of criticism from the Corona Bros out there, from the sports media left-wing loons. The reality is the NFL gets America right. They want you to prove that you are the best, and then if you do so, you get rewarded. It's the ultimate meritocracy. The NFL has created more black millionaires than any business in the history of the world. Think about that for a minute. The NFL, an American institution, has created more black millionaires than any business that I'm aware of in the history of the world. It's pretty remarkable to think about. And This idea that everybody out there wants to trot out all the time, oh, the NFL's fundamentally racist, oh, there's systemic racism, oh, there's not equity, there's no equality. It's not true. The NFL pays the best players the most money. And right now, 4 black quarterbacks are the highest earning of all time. This is one of those stories that won't go away. But over the last 20 years, plus this generation, there's no racism against black quarterbacks in the NFL. There just isn't. It's a just win baby league. And there have been a lot of quarterbacks go number 1 overall who are black and be bust, just like there are a lot of white quarterbacks who go number 1 overall and are bust. Really, going all the way back to Michael Vick, when he was the number 1 overall draft pick in the NFL. Basically, since then, there really hasn't been any racism at the quarterback position. If you can play, you get paid, no matter what your race is in the NFL. It's why the NFL is the ultimate meritocracy, and also why, in my opinion, I think America should look more like the NFL, in that I'm a capitalist. If you've got the goods, you deserve to get paid as much as you possibly can, so congrats to Dak. Now, I do think Dak and his team won this negotiation in a big way over Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. Jerry Jones and the Cowboys could have paid less money last year. Now they're paying the second highest salary for a quarterback in the history of football, who is coming off of a devastating injury and has not yet proven that he can take the proverbial next step. I believe he's won 1 playoff game in his career in Dallas. I'm skeptical of the Dallas Cowboys' ability to contend for a Super Bowl next year, or even in the years that Dak is the quarterback. And that's basically what the standard is now. Dak Prescott either wins a Super Bowl, or this contract is going to be looked at as a failure for the Dallas Cowboys. And from a Jerry Jones perspective, I think the risk is all on Jerry Jones, because Dak Prescott has guaranteed himself $126 million. Props to him for what he has been able to gain in the process. But you always look at contracts in terms of risk and reward. And to me, the risk is all squarely on the Dallas Cowboys, and the reward, by and large, is all squarely on Dak Prescott. Props to him for getting this deal done. But I think the risk to the Dallas Cowboys is substantial. Speaking of risk being substantial, did you guys see the NBA All-Star ratings? Sunday night's All-Stars fell to an all-time low. And the numbers here are going to boggle your mind in many respects. Only 5.9 million people watched the NBA All-Star game on Sunday night, an all-time low. There are 328 million Americans. 1.8% of the entire United States population cared enough to watch the NBA on Sunday night. More people watched the Michael Jordan documentary than watched the actual NBA All-Star game. The Jordan documentary about the 1990s era Bulls was more popular than this year's NBA All-Star game. The most popular, most watched NBA All-Star game of all time was actually back in 1993, aka when the NBA liked its fans and didn't accuse them of all being racist Neanderthals. 22.9 million people watched. What's interesting about that is in 1990, there were only 250 million people in the United States of America. Today, there are 328 million. So in addition to the fact that the NBA's audience is tanking, the number of people who could theoretically be watching the NBA has expanded from 250 million to 328 million. The number of people watching the NBA has gone from roughly 9% of the United States population in the 1990s to 1.8% of the population in the 2020s. The number of people who could be watching the NBA in America has expanded by 78 million people. The number of people who are watching has declined by 17 million people. This is seismic. This is a monstrous deal, even if the Mark Cubans and Adam Silvers of the world and most of the media who cover them will refuse to acknowledge it. This is an absolute disaster for the NBA. The league is tanking. Why do I think that is? Because they went woke and they've gotten broke. They put social justice warrior slogans on the basketball court. They put social justice warrior slogans on their jersey, and the audience has voted en masse. They aren't interested in the NBA anymore. And if the league wants to ever have an audience that's substantial in America again today, they need to apologize for all of the people that they alienated over the past couple of years. Couple of other details that are out there. The Titans signed Isaiah Wilson as their 29th overall pick in the first round last year. They just traded him for an improved 7th round pick to the Miami Dolphins. Isaiah Wilson is, I believe, he played 4 snaps last year, 3 kneel downs, and 1 special teams play. 3 kneel downs and 1 special teams play. That was the entirety of his performance last year. Only dressed for 1 game and was later dismissed by the team. Former Georgia Bulldog. I believe that right now, Isaiah Wilson is the worst first-round draft pick in the history of the NFL. Maybe he'll end up making something of himself in Miami, but so far, he has been an unmitigated disaster for the Tennessee Titans. There is no way to defend what he has come to represent for them. All right, I got to tell you right now, it's tourney season. Take care of your hair and your private area with the best tools for the job. We're talking about our sponsors, Manscaped, the global leaders in male grooming from head to toe. They can take care of you with a variety of excellent products that make you the wonder of the NCAA tournament, the wonder of March Madness, in the madness in your life by grooming yourself decently. They will take care of you. They're trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. You can join the Manscaped movement and start taking care of your balls today. 20% off and free shipping by going to the manscaped.com website and using the code DBAP20 for our exclusive offer. That is DBAP20. Everybody out there gets a little sweaty during tournament time, under the arms, down in the groin region. You know the intensity of games can take care of you, and it's also important to know that your purchase with Manscaped goes towards a good cause because they partnered with the GOAT, Alex Caruso, and the Testicular Cancer Society to bring awareness to testicular cancer, men's health, and early cancer detection, which is why 15 to 35-year-old men who typically have the most in danger, you get 20% off by shopping with the code DBAP20, and thanks to Manscaped, they will take care of you by making a contribution to the Testicular Cancer Society. Right now, you get 20% off and free shipping with the code DBAP20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use code DBAP20. When things get hairy, make sure to call on Manscaped in clutch time, and also make sure that you take advantage right now of that code DBAP20 so that you can help make a contribution to the Testicular Cancer Society. As I have said for a long time, and I think you can see on this, your balls will thank you. Franchise tags in the process of going out right now. To me, one of the most interesting decisions as it pertains to franchise tags has been made by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They franchise tagged Chris Godwin, which means Levante David as well as Shaq Barrett are now unrestricted free agents. The salary cap is a mess for many teams out there, but there are going to be a massive number of big-time playmakers available on the free agent market. Free agent tags going out today. Franchise tags going out today, letting us know who is scheduled to become free agents in short order, and we are headed there sooner rather than later. Finally, we have now got a 6th accuser of New York Governor Andrew Cuomo of sexual harassment. Now, I continue to say, I believe that everyone deserves a presumption of innocence. But if you look at the way that Democrats have rallied behind Andrew Cuomo by and large, and the way that they have simultaneously back a couple of years ago attacked Brett Kavanaugh, there is no consistency to their position. Hashtag believe all women was a flawed process from the get-go. Anyone out there who says that has never studied the law or is being dishonest, because justice is blind, is the ideal representation of our legal system. We don't want to judge based on race, gender, ethnicity, religion, sexuality. We want to look at the facts and allow the facts to dictate what the truth of a particular case is. And this idea that you should believe all women or believe all men is fundamentally the exact antithesis of what our justice system should stand for. So, I believe that Andrew Cuomo is entitled to a presumption of innocence. But with 6 different women accusing him of sexual harassment, in conjunction with the fact that I believe he's likely to be charged with criminal conduct over his obstruction of justice as it pertains to the number of deaths that occurred in New York nursing homes, I don't understand how anybody can think that Andrew Cuomo still deserves to be the governor of New York. I try to look at things without a partisan slant, look at the actual evidence and judge it in front of me. And anyone at this point who is still arguing that Andrew Cuomo, who wrote a book about how well he responded to COVID, despite the fact that New York State, if it were a country, would have the highest COVID death rate in the world, and despite the fact that he sent all of these COVID positive patients back into nursing homes because he bought into the fear porn predictions about overrun hospitals, I don't understand how anyone remotely out there can possibly defend Andrew Cuomo at this point in time. Don't even need the sexual harassment scandals to be out there. The more important and significant failure of his administration was in response to COVID. The media tried to turn him into a COVID hero. The reality is he is probably the worst performing politician as it pertained to COVID in the entire world. It's unbelievable. Go sign up today. We are officially getting rolling. The NCAA tournament is next week. It's been almost a year since we shut down in this country. And my goodness, it's hard to believe it's been a year, but tournament basketball is back. I appreciate all of you. My name is Clay Travis, DBAP unless you need to SBAP. Go sign up for Manscaped. Go to outkick.com/VIP. Use the code VIPEVENT and you get 20% off your subscription for the year. I appreciate all of you. Congrats to Dak Prescott on his new deal and to the NFL for evolving in the way that they have. The ultimate meritocracy in the NFL. 4 highest paid quarterbacks in the history of the league are all black. That is a sign of incredible opportunity. Props to the NFL for being the ultimate capitalistic society team in also creating more black millionaires than any business in the history of the world. I know it's trendy to rip the NFL, but they have had a tremendous year. They have managed, I believe, to handle COVID better than anyone in the world of sports. Props to Roger Goodell, all the players, all the coaches, all the owners for what you guys have accomplished. This has been OutKick the Show. DBAP, unless you need to SBAP.